That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dr. Lawrence Stoffel.
Well, good evening, everyone, and what a pleasure for all of us to gather here this evening in the celebration of music for the school district and these outstanding students who have earned a place on this stage in the orchestra and the band for their exemplary musicianship and dedication to the performing arts. What a wonderful night indeed it is for the school district. When you think about it, music is so integral to who we are as human beings. To be human is to be a musician. Maybe not someone who performs on the stage, but we all value the significance and the place and the influence that music has in our lives. To be human is to be a musician. And so much of the human experience can be conveyed, expressed through the communication of music. Any composition, whatever it might be, makes us feel and think and experience. Could you imagine a song that was written 200 years ago? We don't know who wrote this song, and yet it survives to this day, being sung and performed in a variety of arrangements, and will continue for decades and lifetimes to come into the future as well. When we think about our U.S. history, and we have so much to be proud of what we've been as a nation, we also have to be honest with our history as well. And just the deplorable institution when it was considered to be acceptable for one human being to own another human being. Just baffles us. The institution of slavery. When we think about people who were treated so horribly, hellishly, no rights, victims of violence, separation of families, brutal working conditions. When we think about the institution of slavery in our history, you can think that surely here were people deserving to create music that expressed anger and despair. But interesting, when we look at the tradition of songs written by enslaved peoples, enslaved African Americans in our history, almost all of them are songs of optimism and hope, that freedom is just around the corner. This next composition that we're performing for you is an example of such a song, arranged for concert band very effectively, very musically, very tastefully. The original song is entitled, "My Lord, What a Morning," meaning I'm waking up to the brand new day, and hopefully maybe this is the day where I'll achieve freedom. The lyrics are simple but powerful. My Lord, what a morning, my Lord, what a morning, my Lord, what a morning when the stars began to rise. You will hear the trumpet call to raise the nation underground, calling people to God's right hand. My Lord, what a morning, my Lord, what a morning, my Lord, what a morning when the stars began to shine. It really is a pleasure to be here. Short, few as the hours might be, but just a wonderful time and wonderful experience with these most talented, and not just talented, but dedicated, determined student musicians. It's one of the wonderful perks being a college band director, as I've been now for a number of years, is that you get invitations to work at honor bands with students such as this. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, but the fact is I often feel a little bit like a charlatan with these honor bands because quite frankly, the success, everything that you're hearing tonight on the stage is not because of the last 2 days, it's because the day in and day out, the week in, the week out, the month in, the month out of the highly specialized, highly trained, highly dedicated music educators who are part of this school district. And so I think it's entirely appropriate. If I could ask the stage manager to please bring up the house lights for a moment. And I would ask that all of the music educators, all the band directors and orchestra directors, and if there's choir directors here as well, and any of the private teachers that might have students performing tonight, would you please stand and receive a rousing ovation that you so deserve? And so we dedicate this Spanish March, a rousing march for these rousing music educators in tribute to all the work that they do for the students here in the high schools of the district. This is the March, Spanish March, Amparito Roca. college professor, always about the stories, the origin stories of compositions and where they come from, and how music really does take us to different cultures, different places around the world, different historical time periods. By programming this wide variety of music, it really allows us as human beings to experience other parts of the world outside of our own experience, not just in place, but also in time. And this is the reason why, since the beginning of the notion of public schools in the United States history, going all the way back to probably President Thomas Jefferson, who was the first federal advocate for having free public education to American citizens, going all the way back to the history of our country, why music has always been a core subject in our curriculum. Now, over the decades, sometimes that place in the curriculum takes a little hits and we have to get it back into its proper place in the core of the curriculum. But music has always been part of what we consider to be an essential education for children growing up, from kindergarten all the way through high school, that music is just one of those necessary, essential subjects. A good number of years ago, the University of Michigan did this study that proved what we already knew as music educators, and that is students who participate in music classes do better in school all around. They showed in particular that how math scores improve tremendously when students are also making music as part of their school experience. And this is something that we should always remember and remind people about, because it's true and legitimate, but at the same time, it's not the reason why we have music in the public schools. If you want to have better math scores, then hire better math teachers, I say. It has nothing to do about the music class. It's just one of those nice little fringe benefits that comes along. Music is here because we're trying to educate the whole child to be the best human being that they can. And music, again, is one of those innate parts of being a human being. Music describes the human experience, where we've succeeded and where we have failed, where we aspire and where we gave up, where our successes and triumphs are, and when we have failed. It communicates the human existence, and that's the reason why music is so critical to be part of every child's education, because how can we consider them to be truly educated when they're not tapping into that part of who they are as a human being? And this is why tonight is especially wonderful and remarkable, because it's just a small sampling of what goes on for our students in our music classes. We close the concert tonight with a composition. The title pretty much says it all, and the music repeats it just incredibly, entitled Choose Joy. Choose Joy. Thank you again to all, and a big hand to the orchestra and band students.